Welcome to The Hardest Part, the show that unravels the stories behind the most challenging songs ever written. I'm Kieron Banerji, and joining me in the studio on this episode is Elles Bailey. When I talked to her about her songwriting process, she shared an interesting perspective, one we actually haven't had on this show yet. For her, the hardest part of songwriting isn't writing a particular song, it's just showing up. She admitted that overcoming the fear of failure is a big challenge. But once she's there, the songs usually come pretty naturally. Elles is a strong believer in the magic of rewriting, with almost all of her songs going through a rigorous rewriting process after their initial creation. But despite years of rewriting Ballad of a Broken Dream, she kept returning to the original demo. For over 4 years, the song sat in limbo. Elles hardly shared it with anyone, didn't consider it for her last album, and eventually placed it in the "I'm never going to record this" pile. Not because she didn't like it, but because it didn't feel like an Elles Bailey song, even though she believed it was the best lyric she had ever written. But when it came time to choose songs for her new album, Beneath the Neon Glow, she shared the original demo with her producer, Dan, who instantly fell in love with it. And with encouragement from Dan and her guitarist, Joe, she finally decided to record it. Remarkably, aside from a bigger instrumentation and a solo, the final version is nearly identical to the demo recorded 5 years ago. Elles recalled how emotional it was to sing the song with the band during pre-production. In fact, it even brought her to tears. It ended up being the first song they recorded for the album and became a single. Make sure to stay tuned to hear Ballad of a Broken Dream in full at the end of this episode. But before that, here's my chat with Elles.
It was a song that sat on the cutting room floor for a very, very long time. I never thought I'd record it. It's really personal. It's quite hard to perform in the sense that it just hurts a lot when I play it. And I guess for a long time, I didn't think it would be an Elles Bailey song. So I wrote it in 2019, loved it. I just felt like it was like one of my most favourite lyrics that I've ever written. And I wrote it with my friend Tamara Stewart, who's an amazing songwriter. But for 4 years, I tried to rewrite the melody just to make it feel more me. And so when I was deciding songs for my last album, Shining in the Half-Light, I didn't even send it to Dan, my producer. And it just got kind of discarded, and every now and then I'd come back to it and try and rewrite bits or make it a bit more soul or a bit more gospel.
Yeah.
We were deciding songs for Beneath the Neon Glow, and I just sent it to him. I had so many songs as well. I had like 40 songs. But I was like, I've also got this that I wrote a few years ago. And he was like, what? How have I not heard this before? And he said, we have to record it. And I was like, I don't think I can. And then I invited Joe Wilkins, he's played guitar with me for 10 years. I invited him into the deciding of the tracks, basically, shaking the tree, as I like to call it. And it was top of his list as well. And so the fact that I had these, two people who worked with me for a long time and knew who I was, and they were both saying that we have to record this song. So I was like, okay then, I'll do it.
And we were talking about it as you were performing the session, and as you said, it's a story.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that story, what it's about.
So it follows a very incredibly talented musician, songwriter, who has ended his career playing in bars to people who aren't listening, who aren't giving him the time of day, who can't be bothered with his story because he's just
his brilliance.
Yeah, exactly, because he's just a guy playing in a bar for tips. But it's that whole thing that, talent and being well known, they don't go hand in hand. It's a really savage industry, and it's, there's no denying the creative toil that, and there's no denying that the effect of that creative path that can, play with your mental health. And so it's a song that just follows lots of different aspects of being an artist, but also actually how it was his mental health that caused him to never really break through. He, So that's a song.
It's incredible you mentioned that. I was talking about this to a friend recently, actually, and we had just been in Nashville and we were on Broadway. While some of the honky-tonks on there,
Love
there
it.
are a lot.
There is a lot. Do you remember where you were?
I think I've been to all of them several times. Every single artist you see perform, especially in Nashville, in that couple of square miles, just oozes talent. Sometimes the respect just isn't attached in the same way just because they play at that honky-tonk.
Yeah.
And it's sad because the talent is insane.
Yeah, Nashville blows my mind. Wherever you turn, there is someone who is unbelievable. But they don't have a fan base, or they don't have a...
Yeah. And there's something heartbreaking about it, isn't there? Like being surrounded by so much talent, and so much talent that's never going to maybe really get the widespread adoption it deserves.
Yeah, it is. And what that does to you.
Yeah.
Like, because we start as kids, we play piano, we learn, we do our 10,000 hours of, and you dream and you go and watch your band, you go to Glastonbury and watch your favourite band on the Pyramid stage and you're like, one day I'm going to be there.
Yeah. But
just sometimes that, actually most of the time that doesn't happen. So I think, it is a tragedy of a song, but I think there's the lyric, like, let him play, let him sing, like, show him respect. Just because he's not Elton John doesn't mean you shouldn't not show him the respect. So I think that underneath the sort of pain of the song, there is that, like, come on, stop talking.
I have to ask, is it fictional?
No.
It's not.
No, but I don't talk about the story because it's just too close to home. So, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to record it. I didn't know how I could talk about it. And when I was asked to do this podcast, and I was like, I have to, like, the song I have to do is Ballad of a Broken Dream, but how am I still haven't quite learned how to speak about it because it's too close to home. It's really painful. It's something that I've watched, like, my whole life. Yeah. So I haven't quite figured it all out. And actually I rewrote some of the lyrics after we'd recorded it because I was like, I can't sing that. I listened back to the tracking from the studio and I was like, I can't release that. I cannot. That is just
too close.
Yeah. And so I went back in and I kind of, so one day I think I'll release, or I'll be able to be like, this actually is the original lyric. But I rewrote the second, well, the first chorus or second verse, whatever you want to call it.
Thank you for sharing it, Liz. Yeah. Well, it kind of really leads into my next question. Were there specific parts of the track that were very hard to finalise, especially hard to finalise? Yeah,
well, definitely that. And I think, so basically it lived as a voice note on my phone for 5 years that I would every now and then, like, listen to. I remember being in, like, car parks and on flights, listening back, trying to rewrite melodies, trying to check on things and nothing ever sticking. And I felt like I tried to rewrite this song like many, many times. And I, as a songwriter, believe that, like, the best kind of writing is rewriting. Like, most of my songs, they start as something and then they develop and you live with them and you change lyrics or you change melodies or whatever. And over a 6-month period or however long it takes for them to be finished or recorded, I sometimes feel like a song is never finished, is it? But I've got lost in my train of thought. This is classic. I kept on going back to Ballad and thinking nothing feels right apart from this original demo. So actually, it was kind of a song that I only rewrote in places because it was just too personal to release. But other than that, it is almost the same as the demo, just played with really talented musicians. Yeah. It was this first song that we did in pre-production. I remember just sort of sitting, we were all sort of playing in a circle. And the first time I'd sung it, basically, since writing it 5 years before, I just cried. I was just there like, flip. It is really close. And then hearing it back after the studio and thinking, okay, I need to change a few things here. But other than that, it is a song that actually didn't get the rewriting process, even though I tried.
Does the person who the song's about know about the song? No.
Yeah.
And will you ever tell them?
No.
No. And was that possibly one of the reasons why you wanted to rewrite some of it?
Yeah.
It was
this is the only reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you spoke about your producer's involvement and your guitarist's involvement. I'd love to know sort of what they brought to the production and how they sort of weighed in on the creative of the song.
Dan Weller, who produced the album, he actually came in. He really wanted to make the ooh section in the middle iconic, and actually it was never, there was no melody there. It was just a musical interlude, and he came in and he was like, woo, and he was like, just sing that over, and then we worked out what to do. So that whole section Dan brought to the table, and Joe just felt like the song just suited all the players in the room. We've been playing together for years and years. The players in the room are my touring band, so we know each other really well. And he was like, this band will make this song sound amazing, which they did. And so I feel like they brought the song to life. So Joe's guitarist, he's been a big part of my sound, and he's quite a unique player. He's wonderful. I love his style. I love his playing. And he came into this album sort of saying, let's not make this album about guitar in ways that your other albums have been. So he's so like selfless. So I tour with guitar, organ, bass, drums, BVs, and now acoustic guitar. But he was like, let's not just rely on organ as the sound. Let's get Johnny on piano. So this song is very piano-led. It's got this beautiful piano solo, which obviously I haven't played in our session because I'm just not good enough. He kind of came in and was like, let's bring some different sounds to this album and not just rely on like what we go out when we tour.
So one thing I love speaking to artists about, when you discuss a certain song with the artist who wrote it, they pick up on very certain parts of the track which change the way that you listen to it forever.
Okay.
And our audience are about to listen to the session you just did for us. So I'd love to know, is there any specific elements or parts of this song that you really want them to listen hard to that's going to change the way they listen to this song?
I think there's a lyric, you're safest in the shadows when your mind's your enemy. It's the torment of his talent that will never set him free. I think that is maybe the song the part of the song which kind of sums it up a little bit. And you know, there's some quite harsh lyrics in this as well, which me listening, I'm like, did I go too hard there? But then you've got this line or this sort of section of lines that sums it up, and it's like, do you know what? Like, it's really, really tough as an artist, and when you really, really struggle with your mental health, then it's really hard. And I feel like that kind of rounds it off a little bit.
There's a jukebox in the corner, and the Ballad neon glows, and he's on the stage, guitar in hand, with a name nobody knows. There's an old man rolling a cigarette, a woman nursing wine. He sings his lonesome memories he remembers his whole life. And his one and only child, raven-haired and deathly pale, terrified she'd lose it all to the needle and the nail. Every time he tries to save her, she slips further and further away. The only places worth a dime are in these songs that he plays. band of brothers reminisce. But how can a man like Moses end up just like Judas' kiss? And that big black dog runs down a man who strains to lift his head. The good old days fly high as a kite, and the bad ones wish him dead. But there's a sound of fear and shame as he's tuning that old six string that he hides behind and lives inside with these songs that he sings. So let him sing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So let him sing. Ooh, ooh, oh. A big fish in a small town, they called him the next big thing. Oh, but the vital scars that dealt him cards that got between the in-between. And there were times where he almost believed he was worthy of the fame. But here he sits playing for tips, and no one knows his name. And perpetuates so heavy with the weight of could have been. And now he's just a never was, playing rooms that no one's in. But you're safest in the shadows when your mind's your enemy. It's the torment of his talent that will never set him free. So won't you let it be? Oh, oh. It's just a ballad of a broken dream. Ooh, oh. The ballad of a broken dream. Ooh, oh. The ballad of a broken dream. Ooh, the ballad of a broken dream.
Thank you to Elles for coming on the show. Make sure to subscribe and follow The Hardest Part wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all major streaming platforms, as of course Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. This episode of the show was recorded in London's Soho at the Thin White Duke Studios. It was recorded by Max Walker and it's mixed and produced by myself. Additional videography is by Giovanni Alamonti. Thanks for tuning in.